Hi, it's Leah Busby here with Denham, and today we're going to give you an update on making an offer on a property. There's a couple of points that we don't necessarily agree on in this topic, which is good interest for you of where a finance broker is coming from and a real estate agent's coming from. So we're going to talk about putting an offer on a property, and today in particular we're going to talk about price ranges. So we get a lot of clients saying, I like this property, but the price range is between 500 and 550. What should we do? So from my perspective for finance, we always, when we first speak to clients, say, what's the most you are going to spend on a property, do you think? And we work our numbers off the highest number in the room. So if one of the people says 500 and the other one says 550, I go, right, let's go off of 550 and we can work it backwards. And that is so, when you do find a property, you can be confident with your numbers. You know we're top of the price range, the pre-approvals approved up here. Does mean that we can bring it down. What does need to happen, if we got a pre-approval, say for 500,000 and it needed to go up to 550, the bank need to rework those numbers. So from my perspective, we go in high, make sure clients are really happy with those numbers, and that's the maximum they do think they want to spend. And then Travis, you've had quite a few questions lately about making an offer on a price range. So can you explain from an agent's perspective why your vendor would do that, and then from a buyer's perspective, the things they need to think about when making an offer to you?
Yep, good question. I get asked this one all the time. Price range is generally, when a property hits with a price range, usually the vendor wants the top end of that. I mean, that's kind of human nature. The reason we go with the price range strategy is generally around the bottom end bringing in more interest. So if we can create, because remember, my job is to try and obviously help the buyer, but just get the best price we can for the vendor. So if we have a price range where the bottom end brings a lot of buyers, and then they get to the property and go, wow, I really like it. And if we're in a position where we're attracting multiple offers, and my advice to any buyer is if you go to a first open inspection, and there's 20 or 30 buyer groups there, and you can see us handing out multiple offer forms, it generally means we're going to get a lot of offers early, and it will probably put us in a position that will push to the top end of the range. Doesn't always happen, obviously. Depends on competition, really determines where the price finishes.
Yeah. Okay. And then another thing that we were talking about this morning was why we agreed to disagree is in regards to the deposit. So when we do your finance pre-approval, we'll work you through all the numbers. So the numbers that I will talk about is the stamp duty, transfer fee, mortgage insurance if that's appropriate, and then the deposit that you will need to buy this house. Now, when we give you information about making an offer on a property, and we do encourage you to have a full expert team around you, so a good conveyancer to help you as well as have your finance pre-approved, we do recommend that you go in with your strong offer because you don't want to miss out by a few $1,000s, which we agree on. But what I generally do say to my clients, even if we've said you need $40,000 for the loan deposit, you don't necessarily need to give it to the agent. So from my perspective, we do say to our clients, keep it in your account, keep earning interest. You don't need to transfer that entire funds. We don't encourage our clients to do, $2,000 or $5,000, but we do certainly go 10 or 20,000 instead of 40 or 50. Yep. And for me, that's the position of just protecting your money and making them some interest. But from Travis's perspective, which is a good perspective, he has just explained to us today why the deposit can make a big difference.
Yeah, and we don't have the problem so much with your clients. I get offer forms come through where, particularly with first home buyers, where they'll put their whole loan deposit amount on there, and we will actually advise them that we can't, because we can't take more than 10%. So if the property sells for 600,000, but they've got 100,000 they're putting into the loan, we can't take more than 60 legally. But where I do have a problem is when sometimes we have two offers that on paper look very similar. So they're both pre-approved, finance only, 30-day settlement. I've got two offers at $480,000. And I have one with a $20,000 deposit and one with a $1,000 deposit. And that's an alarm bell for us. The first question always to the buyer will be, why are you only putting $1,000? Do you have more money than this that you're putting into the deal? Yep. Sometimes that question uncovers what's a guarantor loan, which, once again, from our perspective, if it's a guarantor loan versus a loan where they've got a large cash deposit, we would feel safer with the latter.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I've got that wrong. But the other thing is, quite often their broker will say to them, look, you only need to put $1,000 down, you might as well be earning the interest in your account for those 30 or 60 days. The reality is, sometimes the deposit is the difference between which offer we take. So a good deposit, 20 grand, 10 as a minimum, but 20 grand as a deposit shows to the vendor that you're serious. And obviously, if your offer's coming in subject to finance, and for whatever reason the finance gets declined, you always get that back. So you don't risk losing it. But for the sake of the difference in interest you're going to make over that 30 or 60 days on 2 grand versus 20 grand could be the reason why you don't buy the house sometimes.
Yeah, okay. And I think we're going to run over our 2 minutes because I'm just going to jump straight into something else that's really interesting. What I do encourage my clients to do is give the agent information.
Yeah.
So when we make an offer, you might offer $480,000, $20,000 deposit, a 30-day settlement. What we also say is write negotiable on there. So if 30 days isn't a deal breaker for you, you'd write $480,000 subject to finance. We then tell our clients to write underneath pre-approval with Leah, Busby at Blackfish Finance, $20,000 deposit, and anything else you want in there. We also encourage our clients to copy us in because what we see with a lot of agents is they then go, Leah, can you please confirm this is all good to go?
Yep.
That gives them confidence. The other thing, just going on your deposit and the family guarantee versus minimum deposit is a really interesting comment because I think in some instances there's less hurdles for a family guarantee.
Yeah.
So there's no mortgage insurance involved, and it can be in some instances if a client only has a few $1,000s, it's often because we're reworking another property.
Yeah.
So they might have put all their money into a property. We need to get it back out, so it doesn't necessarily put them in a lower financial position. So I think that's a really good point though.
Yes.
Tell the agent. So we have got $5,000 deposit. We're doing a refinance to get the other $50,000.
Yeah, the more we know,
yeah.
the more we know about their story, the
Yeah.
more confidence we can go to the vendor with. So that's a good learning that I've just made just now as well. Thank you.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad we could help.
Yeah.
So have a great day. We will keep coming back to you every week with just the topics that's happening in our days to hopefully help educate you and make the whole process of buying and selling property smoother.
Yep.
Have a good day.